kama ka ngaka whanga I upu maka. Au kama mangu whanga I fungo la. O monga ui. O aia ka kau whaare ka ngaka soi fu. O le aia ka kau lea. E o lava I le vā le kānge. Ma le awa.
The prevalence of violence against women and girls in the Pacific region is among the highest in the world. Countries across the region have identified the social, well-being, and economic consequences of gender-based violence and women's economic and political marginalization.
Pacific Island countries are increasingly prioritizing these issues in national and regional strategies, and in the context of international commitments made to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
This film, produced with support from the Arts and Humanities Research Council of the British government, features a series of short clips produced with the UNESCO Office for the Pacific States under the Spotlight Initiative. These video clips articulate some of the Samoan proverbs and cultural constructs that are relevant in the context of gender relations. Shared with those interviewed, these sayings provided the talking points for this production. The aim is to promote an understanding of how the worldviews of pre-contact Samoa may provide Samoans today with a cultural orientation and identity that may help curb violence against women and girls.
Samoai manatua leila wanganuu ole tama itai ole tama sa.
This film explores the issue through the lens of traditional Samoan culture and is one of a series of films produced across the region under the Pacific Connections project. The films focus on the stringent problem of gender inequality and domestic violence in the Pacific, building on an interdisciplinary and international collaboration between anthropology, film studies, Pacific-based research, and community filmmaking.
Ile talitonunga o tangata Samoa. E tautua malele whaalongolongo tinga le tamatane lona tua whine. O soe, ia nga lelei ma whaaloalo I tamaitai. Ia mana iala toa ia te tau e ola saoloto mai ai le pepe ma le sawaina. E le aise mau I le anga nuu wha Samoa e langolango ina pe wha maangalo ina le sawaina o tina ma tamaitai.
Traditional Samoan society is highly hierarchical, with widely accepted stereotypes for male and female roles. As an oral society, modern Samoans have been bequeathed a rich array of oral traditions that touch on all aspects of life.
Among these are many expressions alluding to what is considered correct behavior. Some of these social norms apply generally to all human interactions, but others offer meaningful insights into gender relations and the respect accorded women and girls in traditional Samoan society. But are these cultural constructs understood and applied in modern Samoa? Are the words and stories that once fed Samoan children still relevant in the digital age?
Ia ole mataupu pe ona whatalanoa ina le neitai au le mataupu le winga I le tamaitai Samoa o le pumuamua o tama tangata e whanga I upu matala. O tama manu e whanga I funga o la au. I loa taritonunga I lea filosofia whātua whamanino le tunu. O le winga lo loto le au mai I. O le awa o ina ma le whaafai le lenga o whanaua le tunu. E whawhanga ma whaafai le e ala le I le awa I upu. Ma le soifuanga whaonga ina ai le ngangana Samoa. O tū maanga sa anganu o Samoa whaatoa malana ngangana. E a oa o ai alo ma whanau o le atunu. E o le ala lea o le winga o le upu lea whawhanga I upu matala e whaatonu a o ti mai a mata mai ai lava I le pepe mea o le tamaititi Samoa. Se ia o lava ina avea matangata matua. E le mawhai lava o na pele motu a mātua o le whawhanga I upu matala. Whawhanga I le ngangana. Whawhanga I le anga nuumanga I whanua Samoa.
At the core of Samoan culture is fa'aloalo, respect, a virtue profoundly defined in the words Va Tapuia.
This iconic and ancient cultural construct is commonly translated as sacred space. It refers to a relational space between entities that are distinct yet strongly connected.
When applied to relationships between people, Va Tapuia maintains harmony and dignity by setting boundaries, tuaoi. It is these boundaries in traditional Samoan society that govern conduct marked by respect for others and a fundamental belief in human dignity.
O whanau, e mātau le soifuanga o tangata mātutua, e mātau fo'i ianga I whanua o tū mahanga nuu a Samoa. E te tau ona muli tai ai. E iai a la vai ngai te tono mata o kua o ina. E le o mawhai o na alu ese mai I a oa onga o anga tau sili. I te tono o umala la whanga. Whaape nā fui I te tono o ainga. Ia po so se whala potonga lava. E awai le tama ma le teine. Po te tono le nuu. Po te tono le aonga po tālonga. I te tau lava. O na muli ta ia e tamaiti. Ia po whanau foi. Ia anga tau sili. E loai foi nā lele ai o se wa ai foi le ape whaai longa lanu. Ia po o le wa ai. Ua whaasili le tasi I leisi. O anga o loo iei te tono mata upua o ina. O loo matua manino le iei. Ia anga matu whaaloalo. E aloa ia I le tama I le teine. E aloa ia fo ima whaaloalo le teine I le tama.
O le whalea onga mua lava o le tama maritini Samoa. O te tono no na ainga. A mata maritono le ainga o na o le tamititi Samoa ma whawhanga I upu matala. Se ia o lava ina avea matangata matua ma avatu I le haonga. I le a mata mai a onga a mata se o lava I a onga tūlanga lua se o tukonisi. O lo whape na fo na whaafai lele sunga I limta mai tai whai a onga. I le ngata o le a wina o le potu salalau. A olo o I fo I tū mātanga ngana manatanga nu.
Tau sa ili solo ai ni whaamau maunga. E lo ai. Le tau au tamaitai, ia, matina. Au leanga nuu ai ia Samoa, o loo whaamau nā mainga, ia na alanga upu, ia, ma whaupunga foi, o loo maua I te tonu, o talanoanga, ma whaasoanga, I te tonu, o sauwha inga ese tonu nuu. Whaataita inga la o le tala lea I le vainga lea pe o na iai I whaupunga lea o le I o le mata o le ali ilo na tua fingi I le maaia iai whaamata upua o ina o le I o le vaenga le tamai polo lanu li uli le tutonu o le mata o le I o le na I le vaai iai ala vea le I o na o le mata o lea o ngā atoa le nā mata o le tū tino le tangata I a mai lai te tono o le tātou ainga ia ma le o langa fo ia fa Samoa e tau mai e ina le faa pele pele e le ali I po le tama o lona tua fafine wa o le wo faa tusa le tene I le vaenga pito I sili ona tā ua o le mata a wa aleanga le vaenga lea o le mwhai ona waai sawa ina laia tina mata maitai o lona winga walele se ainga walele fo I le alu I luma o atina ia ainga manu e te tau ala ona wha pele o neo le ai whai mai a tātou upu o le mata o le tuangane le tōwhine o lona winga e wha pele awane I la vea awane I a whaina lona winga nai e tausi e le tama lona tōwhine.
The ioi mata is the most vulnerable part of your eye, right? So I think what this proverb means is that a man is vulnerable through his sister. If a sister is disgraced, the brother is humiliated. If a sister is raped, this is a terrible, terrible affront to her brother. And I think this is a very, very old saying in Samoa.
As an oral society, the cultural significance and enduring influence of the spoken word in Samoa cannot be overemphasized.
E pala le maa ai le pala upu is another very old saying that captures this idea well.
Stones rot, but words last forever.
These words are similar to this verse found in the book of Matthew. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away.
Samoan proverbs today are viewed and interpreted through the lens of Christianity, a major influence that is, in many ways, reshaping Samoan culture. One of the most iconic of Samoan gender constructs is the whengainga concept that relates to the brother-sister relationship, a subject of great interest to Torise Neemia.
My name is Torise Sa'u Neemia, and I am a lecturer here at the National University of Samoa. I have also just recently submitted my doctorate thesis on the whengainga construct in the church here in Samoa. Part of the title is the religious transformation of a Samoa cultural concept. For me personally, I see it as at the heart of the Samoa. Because at the heart of the whengainga is mutual respect, mutual reliance between two parties.
O le mea uli le fofonga o tāmatane, o lana whengainga. O le tasi le nā winga o le upu ave I tamaitai, ua whaalupe o le whengainga.
From my readings and from the oral traditions that were recorded, I got this picture of a whengainga that protected women, the dignity of Samoan women.
What Torise discovered in her research was that the whengainga relationship between brothers and sisters was similar to the relationship in traditional society between the high chiefs, ali'i, and the orator chiefs, tulafale. Of the two parties in these relationships, one had sacred attributes and the other was secular in nature.
So looking at the brother-sister relationship, it was easy to identify that the sacred party was the sister and the secular party was the brother. In the relationship between the ali'i and tulafale, the sacred party was the ali'i and the secular party was the tulafale. The construct was one that was mutually reliant, so even though the sacred party was revered, they depended on the secular party to uphold their mana, their sacredness.
If Samoan women were once regarded so highly, what happened to change the way brothers viewed their sisters? the way men and boys treated women and girls. A change that seems to have taken place within a few generations. A change that seems to coincide with the arrival of missionaries and other foreigners.
Was the sacredness of women suggested by many academics a universal construct in traditional Samoan society?
Dr. Augustin Kramer, in his landmark ethnographic study, The Samoa Islands, published in 1903, writes, "While we observe that the treatment of women, especially those of lower birth, is in married life apparently often very depressive and cruel, we observe on the other hand that the girls and the women of high birth enjoy almost deifying veneration. As with many societies, the higher up the cultural strata a woman or girl is, the more apt her accolades and designations, and the greater the respect and protection accorded to her."
Whether the whiangenga construct had a universal reach in Samoan society or not, what we can say with certainty is that violence against women and girls is now commonplace in modern Samoa. In the final report of the National Public Inquiry into Family Violence carried out by the National Human Rights Institution and published in 2018, 86% of women surveyed were found to be subject to kicking, punching, slapping, or suffering bodily harm from a hard object such as a rock or a stick.
87% of women respondents experienced threats of physical violence or bodily harm. Equally surprising in a culture that professes respect as a cardinal virtue are the similar statistics of violence meted out against children, with 86% found to be subjected to kicking, punching, or other physical assaults, and 87% experiencing threats of violence in family settings.
Could it be that a critical mass of Samoans are now trapped in entrenched patterns of behaviour and cycles of violence?
This whiangenga relationship, which was sacred, was founded on the belief that the Samoan people had that their sacredness came from their ancestral gods. So even in the village structures, we have the nu'u tamaitai and the nu'oli'i. Even those structures were based on this whiangenga concept, on the covenant relationship, where you've got the matai, you've got the ali'i and tūlā whale as the heads of families, the heads of extended families, and they were considered to be the leaders of the village, and all their children were considered brothers and sisters. So this understanding that we have today of a gendered society, it wasn't emphasised back in before Christianity.
Samoa, mana tua lelei la wanga nu'u ma le Va Tapuia, o le tamaitai, o le whiangenga tausi.
What Torise and many other researchers have come to understand is that the protective mantle of the whiangenga that once cloaked sisters and perhaps all women and girls in traditional Samoan society was a perfect fit for the newly arrived teachers of the Gospels, the ministers of the church. The word whawhiangenga became the title for clergy. The protection once accorded women was now directed to men of the cloth, the sacred party in this new relationship, with the congregation becoming the secular party.